Hello everyone, welcome back to Cooking with the Cul-de-sac Woman. That's me, Elizabeth Stinson. Well, the Super Bowl has passed and now we are looking forward to Valentine's Day in the kitchen. Today we are going to whip up something lovely to romance our Valentine's Day diners. In my house, a table for 5. We are preparing a French delicacy, which literally means puffed. Can you guess? I'll meet you back in the kitchen with the answer.
Welcome back to my kitchen, where today I am whipping up something for Valentine's Day. They are magical, light, and delicious. Nothing is more elegant than these. Did you guess? That's right, soufflés. And as we often do here, 2 of them. One savory, crab imperial soufflé, and the other's sweet, chocolate strawberry soufflés. Both begin with the same exact buttermilk sauce base, which we will divide in half, flavoring one half with the crab imperial ingredients and the other half with the chocolate strawberry ingredients, all of which can be done ahead of time with just one last-minute step remaining, the addition of egg whites right before baking. The name of the game here is mise en place, French for put in place, meaning have all of your supplies, ingredients, and tools ready to go in advance. For the entree, crab imperial soufflé, I have prepared a medium-sized 3-quart round casserole with an even coating of butter, bottom and sides. Then seasoned breadcrumbs, only about half to 3/4 of the way up the sides, so that our baked soufflé will pop straight up for us. For the dessert, chocolate strawberry soufflés, I have 12 3-inch 8-ounce ramekins. And as for the entree soufflé, we're buttering the entire dish, bottom and sides. And for this size ramekin, for desserts, about a half a teaspoon of sugar is plenty. Shake to coat the bottom, and then tilt and rotate until the sugar is coating half to 3/4 of the way up the sides. Okay, the sugar or breadcrumbs help the soufflé begin climbing up the sides of the dish. If you coat the entire dish with them all the way to the rim, you will not get that classical chef hat soufflé pop straight up over the top of the dish. You'll get more of a rounded rise and puff at the surface of the dish. Still perfectly edible and delicious. It's just a wow factor visual thing. We're going to cover our dishes and hold them in the refrigerator until about 1 hour before we need them. Moving on to the eggs. We have 16 large eggs here that I just pulled from the refrigerator, 2 small bowls, and 2 large 4-quart bowls. We are going to separate all 16 eggs while they're still cold, much easier, saving all of the whites, 8 in each smaller bowl. But we only need 8 of the yolks, 4 in each larger bowl. I'll get cracking here and be right back with you. We're done separating our eggs. We have 8 whites in each of our 2 smaller bowls, minus any yolk specks, and we have 4 yolks in each of our 2 large 4-quart bowls. I'm going to cover the whites and set them aside for now. Continuing on with our mise en place, for the chocolate strawberry soufflés, we have one of our bowls containing our 4 egg yolks, a strong, sturdy mixing spatula, 1/4 cup of unsweetened baking cocoa powder, a half a cup of already prepared strawberry preserves or fruit spread, where strawberries are listed as the first ingredient. And last, I'm going to place some powdered sugar on the table for dusting our finished soufflés. Moving on to our crab imperial soufflé. We have our other bowl containing 4 egg yolks, a large sturdy mixing spatula, and a whisk. I'm mixing up a sauce diablo of sorts containing 2 rounded tablespoons of hot dog relish. That can be your secret ingredient. 1 tablespoon of fresh squeezed lemon juice, about a half a lemon, 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire, a half a teaspoon of celery salt, 3 to 4 shakes of your favorite hot sauce, and ground black pepper to taste. And 1 10-ounce can of crab meat labeled special, which is a mixture of jumbo and claw meat. Very suitable for souffles, cost and texture-wise. And our vegetable medley. 1/4 cup of shallots, about 1 large shallot, a half a cup of red bell pepper, about 1 to small, medium-sized pepper, and a half a cup of fresh mushrooms. I'm using shiitake, about 1½ ounces, a small handful, all finely diced, chopped. We're going to cook them slowly over a medium heat, and just a sliver of butter and a little drizzle of canola, because we don't want to end up with greasy vegetables here. And we're going to cook them over a medium heat until the peppers are softening and the shallots are beginning to show just a little color. Okay, our vegetables are softening up nicely and our shallots are just beginning to show a little color. Such a colorful, delicious, earthy medley. We're going to set this back here to cool while I go retrieve our baking dishes from the refrigerator and then move on to make our buttermilk sauce. On to our simple buttermilk sauce. In my 3-quart heavy bottom saucepan, I'm going to add 2 cups of reduced fat cultured buttermilk. Okay. Then on top of that, we're adding 1/3 cup of unbleached white whole wheat flour and a half a teaspoon of salt. We're going to stir and blend this over a medium heat with our whisk, getting all the lumps out until we reach a low, steady simmer. Little bubbles all across the surface. Here it is, our low, steady simmer. And we're going to stir and pause, stir and pause for a solid 2 minutes. I'm setting my timer. Stir and pause to maintain our simmer and to prevent burning on the bottom. It will end up like a very thick gravy. Okay, our buttermilk sauce just finished simmering for 2 minutes. It is very thick, and we're going to finish it up at the counter here with 1 tablespoon of cold butter. Just going to stir that in until it's smooth and silky. Okay, as I said earlier, we're going to divide our buttermilk sauce in half between our 2 soufflés. It's about 1 cup per soufflé. So measure out 1 cup here. All right. We'll add that to 1 bowl. Get it all, use your best spatula to get every speck out. Okay. And then we'll scrape the rest of what's in the pan into the other bowl. And our egg yolks are at room temperature now, so we can safely do this without ending up with scrambled eggs. Okay. All right. And then whisk them together, your egg yolks along with your buttermilk sauce, until uniform. Stop here for just a moment to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, positioning your baking rack in the lower third of the oven with nothing above it, so our soufflés have plenty of room to grow. Now we'll turn one of our buttermilk sauces into our chocolate strawberry base. Our cocoa powder and our sweetening, strawberry preserves. Very simple. You just whisk it all together. Smooth and delicious, and it smells wonderful. It wouldn't be Valentine's Day without chocolate. And then we'll just set this aside while we move on to our crab Imperial. Now we'll turn our other buttermilk sauce into our sauce Diablo. We'll pour in our Diablo sauce flavorings, and using a whisk for a good uniform blend, we'll stir it in. Okay, now we're going to turn our tasty, tangy sauce Diablo into our crab Imperial base. We're performing all kinds of magic here today. Just wait till you see the finished soufflés. We'll add our crab meat, just breaking it up. You don't need to drain the crab meat. It's packed with very little water. There might be a little bit of water left at the bottom of the can. Just discard that because we don't need the extra liquid. And then our beautiful vegetable medley. All right. And then we'll just stir it all together until it's well combined. And that completes our crab Imperial base. To make a head, you can do everything we just did up to this point. Coating the baking dishes, separating the eggs, and preparing both bases. Storing it all in the refrigerator overnight covered. Just pull everything from the refrigerator 2 hours before the last steps. Whipping the egg whites and baking. We want our soufflés going into the oven at room temperature so they bake up nicely for us. Or you can just move on from here like we're going to do today. Okay, here comes the fun part. Pour one of your bowls of egg whites into your large mixing bowl along with your whisk attachment. Then we're going to sprinkle in a half a teaspoon level cream of tartar. Sold right in with the spices in your baking aisle. It is a mild acid that reacts with the egg white proteins, yielding a more stable, airy, whipped structure, giving our soufflés maximum lift. Now we're going to beat our egg whites at high speed until medium firm peaks, not stiff, dry peaks. It will happen fast, within a minute. There it is, a nice, medium, firm, smooth, silky whip that holds its shape with plenty of air to lift or leaven our soufflé during baking. Then right away, we'll add our whites to our crab Imperial in thirds, incorporating the first third a little bit more than the last 2/3. In the end, we want to end up with the egg whites just partially incorporated, about 3/4 of the way. We don't want to lose our air. Just kind of a folding, stirring motion. Okay, second third. Just partially incorporating. We'll still see some white streaks of the air and the whites in our mixture as it's going into the oven. It's certainly not going to be homogeneous. Okay, last third. It's a lot of air. Once your whites are whipped, there's no breaks. Okay, we're getting that last third in, and then we will move on and gently spoon it into our prepared baking dish. And our oven is preheated to 375 with our rack in the lower third position. Okay. Now I am going to pour this into our prepared dish quickly. Level it out a little bit if necessary. Now we're going to place this in our oven on its baking sheet, and we will check it after about 30 minutes without opening the oven door. Ideally, you don't open the oven door at all while a souffle is baking, especially in the beginning. Our crab imperial souffle will be done when it's puffed and the surface is golden, dry, and firm. If I open the oven door and I think it needs a few more minutes, I'll just very gently and quickly close the oven door. I'll let you know the exact cook time in my oven shortly. Poof! Crab Imperial Soufflé. It baked a total of 40 minutes. I did not get my chef hat because I should have used my smaller souffle dish. However, it's still puffed and golden, perfectly delicious. Steamy, fluffy crab imperial.
Tasty.
Bon appetit! That was absolutely delicious, and now we are looking forward to our chocolate strawberry souffles. We're going to whip up our egg whites and cream of tartar in the same exact way we did for the crab imperial souffle. A nice medium, firm peak. Okay, here's our nice, beautiful, firm, whipped peak. And we're going to fold these into our chocolate strawberry sauce in the same exact way we did for the crab imperial souffle, incorporating the first third a little bit more than the last 2/3. But in the end, we want to end up with the egg whites only being partially incorporated into our sauce, about 3/4 of the way, so we preserve our air. You'll see a lot of white, airy egg white streaking. That's what we're going for. Okay, I'm going to get the last third in there, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, there's our nice, fluffy, beautiful mixture, and we're going to spoon it gently, delicately into our prepared ramekins, about 3/4 of the way up each ramekin. And then we're going to bake them up in the same way as we did for the crab imperial souffle in our 375° Fahrenheit oven, lower third rack. And I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes, anticipating that they're going to be done somewhere between 15 and 17 minutes without opening the door. All right, I'll finish filling these up and get them in the oven and be right back. There they are, our chocolate strawberry souffles. My little chocolate chef hat's up over the top. They baked a total of 17 minutes. Absolutely lovely. Dusting of powdered sugar and fresh strawberry on the side. A light and fluffy steamed chocolatey pudding cake. Delicious. Now you can romance all of your Valentine's Day diners with this souffle. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. We'll see you next month in the cul-de-sac.